Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and it's time to talk about The Walking Dead. So this episode is on the heels of an episode that I thought was really horrible. We had the Morgan one, which was a good episode, but didn't do much for the overall story. Then we had an episode that didn't do much for anything at all. In this episode, I don't know if it's actually much better. We get to have Daryl in this one, so that's a good thing. Having Daryl in an episode, almost always a good thing. But he didn't really do much. Actually, not much happened again. In fact, almost nothing happened that impacts the overall story. I don't know if it's just me or if it's the direction of this season or what, but there's a general lack of progression going on, and I guess they're doing it on purpose, trying to develop these characters some more. But this episode, we spent at least half the episode developing characters that are essentially red shirts. They're not going to do anything for us. And it just wasn't very good storytelling either, I don't think. It was just not that great. So let's talk about it, I guess. So Daryl and the other two are going on their mission of bringing the zombies away from everybody else. And as they're doing that, they go through this town, and all of a sudden everyone starts shooting at them. A bunch of people start shooting at them and chasing them in cars, which was a little weird. And we find out later they weren't even going after them. They were going after someone else, and apparently confused them for someone else, or just decided to shoot at them anyway because it might be safer that way. It's never really that clear how that comes about, at least as far as a good explanation goes. So that was a little strange. But either way, because of that, Daryl gets split off from the other two, and the show is mostly about Daryl. The other two talk some, and it's supposed to be deep conversations, but it really doesn't add much. There's nothing really to talk about there, other than apparently Abraham is going to move on to a new love interest, which, who cares, really? I don't care personally, but whatever. So that's it for them, really. He finds a rocket launcher, so that's cool, but that's it. No story for them. So mostly we have Daryl, which, like I said, normally a good thing, but apparently Daryl has just decided to make bad decisions now. Because not only does he get captured, then he wins over the captors, and they end up being on his side, he thinks, and he's working with them. He saves them, actually. He helps them twice. First time he helps them by giving a girl who is apparently low on blood sugar her insulin back, which I don't know if you guys know much about insulin, but that's not how it works. If you have low blood sugar and you take insulin, not a good thing. So that's not a big deal, but it's something I noticed. So anyways, he helps them. He gives them back their stuff that he ends up with for whatever reason. It doesn't really matter. And so okay, fine, we thought you were with these people that are chasing us, which turns out are the people that shot at our guys. So he helps them. And they say, okay, well, then we'll help you and we'll work together. We don't want to be with those bad guys anymore, which are apparently a new group of bad guys. They don't appear to be the wolves, as far as we can tell. Just more jerky people, which is fine, I guess. Do we need more? I mean, we have a story we're trying to get at already, and we're not getting at it. And now we're introducing more generic characters. I don't get it personally, but whatever. So they are chasing these two new people, and Daryl helps them. They get away. Daryl asks them two of the questions Rick asks people, and Daryl's going to recruit them for Alexandria. All of a sudden, for no apparent reason, I guess he thinks they're going to be helpful, even though he's known them for all of about 10 minutes. And they did capture him at first, don't forget that. So Daryl apparently doesn't care about anything anymore, and he's just going to recruit more people. Maybe it's because the girl's not wearing a bra. I don't know. I found that to be kind of strange. Out of all these people on the show, a lot of them females, these two girls can't wear bras. That was a little weird for me. But anyway, maybe no one else noticed it, and it's just me and I'm a pervert. I don't know. I thought it was weird. Anyway, Daryl tries to recruit them, and they take his motorcycle and all of his stuff, other than his knapsack. But he doesn't have his crossbow anymore, which maybe finally he'll use a gun or knives more, but whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter either way. Crossbow's fine. But that's it. So Daryl gives up his motorcycle by making a bad decision. They take it, and they may come back as being bad guys. They're going to go back with the other bad guys. We don't know. That's it. That's the end of that storyline. No good at all. Nothing happens. Daryl finds a truck, so he goes and meets back up with the other two guys. They all get in the truck and they go back. That's the entire plot of this episode. Nothing happened again. At the very end, Daryl calls Rick on the radio again, and he doesn't hear anything. And then he calls him back, or maybe he heard static or something. He said, say again. And then they hear what it sounded like to me was Rick saying, help. So apparently we have progressed in the timeline at least a little bit, because I don't think that's happened yet on Rick's side. So we're still in this time loop of nothing happening over and over again, and now Rick is calling for help on the radio when the last thing we saw was Rick getting his groove on, so to speak. So, I don't know, maybe he needs dating tips from Daryl. Perhaps that's what's going on. Or maybe we have progressed, and there's just a whole lot of nothing. Cycle after cycle of these storylines that aren't useful to anything for any reason. I just don't get it. I want to know if you guys are on page with me. Do you agree? Is this all pointless to you too? I hope it's not just me. Maybe I'm missing something. I understand Walking Dead's not all about action and zombies, but the stories they're telling are basically not stories at all. I just don't get it. So I'm curious. Like I said, I don't know. Maybe you guys are getting a different thing from it, and I'd like to hear your thoughts. I'd like to discuss it in the comments. Also, I want to point out one thing. When the bad guys were going after these 2 new people, or 3 at that point, 3 new people that Daryl saved, this guy got attacked by a zombie who literally couldn't move his body other than one arm. It was stuck behind some kind of block. This guy walked past it, and somehow that one-armed, non-mobile zombie was able to pull the guy in and bite him. I think they're using a little bit too much liberty with these zombie powers. I don't get it. It's getting a little bit ridiculous. It's driving me a little nuts. Let me know what you guys think. I look forward to reading the comments. I'm going to go watch the Badlands show and see how that is, and I'll do another video for that when I get done watching it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure you put some stuff in the comments so we can talk about it. Thanks, guys.